Hello, how's everybody doing? Are you a fan of Marty Robbins? If so, this is the video for you because I recently got an entire collection of Marty Robbins records. One of my coworkers, I believe she said it was her grandmother's collection, apparently was a huge Marty Robbins fan, and she didn't feel like keeping the records, so she gave them to me. So I thought I'd share the collection with you, and this might be a little bit of a lengthy video because there's a lot of records to go through here. So if you're a Marty Robbins fan, then here we go. Check out all these records. I believe this is the first Marty Robbins record that he was on. This features Carl Smith, Lefty Frizzell, and Marty Robbins. I think this is from 1955. I think they each got three songs each. It's on the 6i Capital label there, you can see. Now I'm not going to show every label on every record because this is going to get quite long, so I'll just quickly show the front and back covers of each album. Here we have the Song of Marty Robbins, or Song of Robbins, excuse me. And I did the best I could to put these all in chronological order from the information I found on Discogs and things like that. Here we have Song of the Islands. This is a collection of Hawaiian tunes that Marty sings. And here is a reissue from the later 70s. That one was from the late 50s. This is a reissue in the 70s that came out. And it omits a bunch of songs. There's songs missing off that one, but and here we have simply Marty Robbins. And this is one I've been looking for quite some time, and I finally got it. Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs. We got songs like Big Iron and Cool Water. I think the Hanging Tree is on here maybe. And then we have more Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs. Just a Little Sentimental. And here's one of his big hits, Devil Woman. Marty After Midnight. Now I am somewhat of a fan of Marty Robbins, but I don't really know all of his music. I know quite a lot of the hits that he had and things. Here's a portrait of Marty. So I guess I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep all these or what I'm going to do. Return of the Gunfighter here. Here we have another Hawaii's Calling Me, another Hawaiian music album. And I believe this is some more Hawaiian type music from Marty. He was a fan of Hawaiian music if you weren't aware already. Here's another one, RFD. Now the nice thing about this collection is probably 90% or more of these are in like mint condition, so some of these just need a little bit of dusting off and they're in really good condition. This is a gospel album, What God Has Done. Turn the lights down low. And we have the Drifter. Here's one called Saddle Tramp. The interesting thing about the next album is looks like they used the same picture. My Kind of Country. Most of these albums are on the Columbia label. I believe he was on Columbia for about 40 years or so. Tonight Carmen, this is called, sorry. And then we have here a couple copies of Christmas with Marty Robbins. I believe one's mono and one's stereo. They both have the same back cover. by the time I get to Phoenix. I Walk Alone, another big hit for Marty. Singing the Blues, another hit of his. It's a Sin. Another one of his bigger hits, My Woman, My Woman, My Wife, a song written to his wife. And look, I think this is actually signed by Marty Robbins. I've looked online and that really looks like his signature, so I'm assuming it is, I don't know. We have El Paso. And if you weren't aware, Marty was actually a NASCAR driver too, and here we have a picture of his number 42 car that he used to race in the NASCAR racing circuit. This is Marty Robbins Today, it's called. This Much a Man. I've Got a Woman's Love. This one's got a Columbia Records radio station service, not for resale sticker on the back here. Here we have Bound for Old Mexico, great hits from south of the border. And this one again is simply entitled Marty Robbins. Here we have Marty Robbins, Good and Country. And as follow-up to the song El Paso, we got El Paso City, kind of a sequel to the song El Paso. And again, here we have a couple copies of the same album, Adios Amigo. And then we have Don't Let Me Touch You. Marty Robbins, All Around Cowboy. We have The Performer. With Love, Marty Robbins. Everything I've Always Wanted. Come Back to Me. Some Memories Just Won't Die. We have another Christmas album, A Christmas Remembered. Now, that's stack number one. So next, those are, from what I can tell, those are just the strict albums that he put out. The next pile is a bunch of compilation albums, such as like greatest hits and things like that. So we'll start here with Marty's greatest hits. Again, this is in a mono 6i capital label there. And then we have a later stereo reissue of this. This is on just the plain capital label. Looks like quite a bit later pressing. Here we have more greatest hits. I actually had this one before. There's a lot of good songs on here. And there's The Joy of Christmas featuring Marty Robbins and his friends. Side one is all Marty Robbins songs, and then there's side two has got Lynn Anderson, Tammy Wynette, Johnny Cash, some other artists on there with him. Marty Robbins, The Bend in the River. This is Marty's Country. Deluxe 2-record set, 20 all-time greatest recordings. Streets of Laredo and Other Ballads of the Old West. And as you might imagine, There's a lot of repeats on these albums, so I'm sure I got the song El Paso on here about 30 times. So, The Story of My Life. From the Heart. We have The World of Marty Robbins, another gatefold here. Then we have Marty Robbins Greatest Hits Volume 3. And his all-time greatest hits, which is a gatefold. Number One Cowboy. I think I had this one already too. Just another greatest hits collection there. Another all-around cowboy. Here, this one is Have I Told You Lately That I Love You? And again, we got another Columbia Records radio station not for sale sticker pasted on here. I'm not sure if that makes this any more rare or not, but. And here's Marty Robbins' own favorites, 10 of his own favorite songs, presented by Vaseline Hair Tonic. And we even have a K-Tel 20 original hits, Marty Robbins Gold. And we have No Signs of Loneliness here. And this one was a collection of 2 of his albums. We have My Woman, My Wife, sorry. And the second record is the Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs. So it's kind of cool to have two albums in one set here. Here we have another K-Tel record. The Greatest Hits of Marty Robbins, 20 Great Hits. Not sure if that's the same track listing as the other K-Tel 20 Greatest Hits. I haven't looked that close at it, I guess. Here we have the legendary Music Man, Marty Robbins. An authentic Golden Treasury Collector's Edition. And that looks just like some advertising from the record label. Other releases that they had available. This is a double album. Marty Robbins' Border Town Affair. Oh, we have another K-Tel, Marty Robbins' Golden Collection. Let me guess, it's got 20 greatest hits. It doesn't say. This is not K-Tel, but it is the best of Marty Robbins' 20 hit songs. Then we get Marty Robbins' Greatest Hits, Volume 4. And we have The Legend. Encore. We have Marty Robbins' Biggest Hits. We have Marty Robbins' Best Hits. There are 14 full-length hits in stereo. And here is part of a Time Life series. I have other artists in the same country music series, but here's the Marty Robbins one. Here's 20th Century Drifter. The legendary Marty Robbins. Now this one I actually am really glad to have on vinyl as well, because this is, I think, the only Marty Robbins CD that I actually own, and the CD that got me into listening to Marty Robbins music. This is A Lifetime of Song, 1951 to 1982. Marty Robbins passed away in 1982 due to heart failure. He had a quadruple bypass, which he didn't happen to make it through, so. And again, it's in basically mint condition here, so I'm really happy to have that one. Here's Marty Robbins Reflections. Looks like a really generic album, but it is put out by CBS Records. The Great Marty Robbins, 18 Songs You'll Always Love. If you don't love any of his other songs, these are the 18 you're going to always love, according to this. Marty Robbins, Forever Yours. Here's an older Marty Robbins here, A Song for Every Mood. This one is Sincerely Marty Robbins. And this one is That Country Feeling. A few of these here are on a label called Orbit. I'm not familiar with that label, but I believe it's a subsidiary of CBS Records. You can kind of see that they have kind of the same album art on the back. This one is Bouquet of Songs. And we have Country Cowboy. The Great Love Songs. This is on the Good Music Record Company. Again, it's CBS Special Products. I don't know if this is maybe a TV order type thing or what, but it is on the CBS label. And then we have Marty Robbins Long, Long Ago. And old pictures of Marty there. From what I can tell, these are some early songs that he did in the early 60s. Early to mid 60s anyway, so that's the second pile. Then I got some more here. I'm not familiar with Bear Family Records. The only thing I know is I believe they're out of Germany, possibly. But these are a collection of albums from the Bear Family Records out of Germany. We have Rock and Rollin' Robbins, Marty Robbins Sings. We have Rock and Rollin' Robbins Volume 2. From what I can tell, these came out in the early to mid 1980s. And we have Volume 3. These are just some songs from every era of his career. And then we get into another collection here, In the Wild West, Part 1. In the Wild West, Part 2. I'll show you one of those labels. One thing I found interesting is that Part 1 has this CBS label. And Part 2 has this CBS label. And then the rest go back to that red label again. So I don't understand that, but here we have The Wild Wild West Part 3. And Part 4. And finally, Part 5. Then the next collection of records from Bear Family Records, the Marty Robbins Files, Volume 1. Looking through these quickly, I kind of noticed that these start with his early 50s songs. And then as the records progress, they just kind of slowly work through his career. Volume 2. A lot of early 50s songs, and then they'll throw in a couple songs from the 80s, so I don't know what that's about, but Volume 3. Volume 4. And Volume 5. I've never seen someone so into Marty Robbins. This is incredible. Here I have another Bear Family record. It is just me and my guitar. And another one here, Pieces of Your Heart. And then we got some of these box sets here. This one's just entitled Marty. This is a Columbia House, Columbia Musical Treasury. Here it's a 5-record set that was released in 1972. So this goes up to that period in his career anyway. And here's a Time Life Records collection, country and western classics of Marty Robbins. This has got the flip open. I think this is a three record set, but they're all in plastic sleeves. And then the third and final one, this is a set manufactured especially for Reader's Digest. His greatest hits and finest performances. I think this is probably one of the best of these box sets here. Another 5-album set. And one thing I like about this is that it comes with this book, or pamphlet anyway, and it gives just a little history of Marty Robbins in there. Kind of a biography, sorry. And then each record, it's got a little information about each song, which I find really interesting. You got Marty Robbins in his NASCAR gear. Each of those is on one of these plastic lined sleeves here. And again, it looks like it's never been played. But wait, there's more. Marty Robbins had a son, Marty Robbins Jr. Here's his first album. If I remember, there's this song, Big Mouthin' Around. He sings with his father, Marty. They recorded that song, and there's one other that's the B-side to that single. Actually, not a bad song. And then, nearest I can tell, Marty Robbins Jr. He actually, I think he changed his name to Ronnie Robbins and recorded as Ronnie Robbins later. So here's that album. Again, if you look up Marty Robbins Jr. or Ronnie Robbins on YouTube and listen to him, his voice sounds amazingly like his father's. So, and here's a couple albums that are Marty Robbins related. This is the soundtrack music from the Clint Eastwood film Honky Tonk Man. I've never actually heard of that film before, but there is a couple Marty Robbins songs on the film and the soundtrack. So Warner Brothers. And then there's the original soundtrack recording for the John Wayne film The Alamo. And there's a song, The Ballad of the Alamo, which was recorded by Marty Robbins. Now the the final thing here is I got this stack of records here in these plastic sleeves. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with Ralph Emery. He was a country disc jockey, and later he had a show on the Nashville Network, the Ralph Emery Show, or Nashville Now I think it was called. But these are actually radio broadcasts of the Ralph Emery Show from the early 80s. And you can see here it's got, this one is Marty Robbins is the guest on this record. And it's got all the station breaks and the transcript here of what songs are being played and when to cue the commercials. Here's one with Marty Robbins and Johnny Cash as a guest. Another Marty guest on that one. We got some Hank Williams Jr., Marty Robbins, the Oak Ridge Boys on this show. And there's just several more of those radio programs on record. I haven't listened to these yet, so it's kind of interesting. This one is a whole collection here of records. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in there. And this was from August 11th, 1980, and you can see again here we got the transcript. We got Marty Robbins and Barbara Mandrell, Kenny Rogers. So I think that's pretty interesting in my opinion. But so yeah, if you've not heard Marty Robbins' music before, be sure and check it out. I really do enjoy his voice. He's got a great singing voice. He does a lot of good old westerns, gunfighter songs, things like that. So be sure and check it out. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned again for my next video. Thanks guys. Bye.